We have a very diverse client group that we've established and service. Commercial, industrial, and ag. And that basically sums up our client list right there. So the commercial side of things would be small little commercial buildings, independents. The industrial side, we have done a lot of work for Capital Power, TransAlta, ME Global, and a lot of farm projects. We don't like to particularly focus on one industry in itself, because if one industry is suffering, then we suffer. Concrete's not forever, but it's pretty permanent. It's a long-lasting investment, and you want to make sure it's done right. Your compaction, the quality of the concrete mix that you're placing in, and the finishing end of things. Finishing on concrete, you can blister and peel it, and then you could have major issues. Like I said, not year one, not year two, but 4 or 5 years down the road. With our group of guys, everybody knows that and are well trained in it, and we can eliminate those variables.
Leica has always been a front runner, and I can confidently say that, Sean is the only contractor here in Western Canada that has this technology and is able to use it. The reason his setup is so near and dear to my heart is because we've worked so closely. We got Leica engineers involved, we got Leica designers involved. It really sets him apart from a lot of the contractors in this field.
The system works with a total station. So the total station will be connected to the prism visually, and that prism is attached to the machine. The total station is measuring the height of that prism. It can tell the machine you're a little bit too high above your surface or you're a little bit too low below your surface, and you can make that adjustment. And it makes that adjustment hundreds of times per second within the millimeter. Complex surfaces, whether it's different grades or swales or just different slopes in a work site. Doing that by eye, you have to set up each individual grade or each individual slope, but it becomes slow and cumbersome. Where the machine, you can load up all the different surfaces and all the different angles and swales, curves into a file, and the machine measures that file to the surface continuously. At one point, it can do a flat surface, back up. Next, you can do the angled surface, back up. Next, you can do the other angled surface. You've done that in 3 passes rather than, set up, tear down, set up, tear down, set up, tear down. It gives you repeatability from start to finish. You're not changing to a different tool or maybe a tape measure that has a different spacing on the measurements. You're using the total station not only to initially lay out your work area, but you're also using the total station to grade your work area, and you're using the total station to finish your work area. So what's nice about that is you're using the same file in the total station or the skid steer or the concrete screed. They're all working from the same file, all working with the same total station or measuring instrument, and all working with the same surfaces and from start to finish.
Last job, for instance, we had a volume calculation. If we were perfect, we were to order 40.7 cubic meters of concrete. Well, with this current technology that we just implemented and are using, we had an order of 41 meters. So we were 0.3 meters out on concrete. That tells us that you can almost order the concrete to the wheelbarrow and have a, really consistent, even floor, so that your depth of your concrete is very consistent throughout the floor, which is important to maintaining strength on the floor. We're a family-run business. We always have been. My brother Kim, he's a couple years older than me. He does the estimating and sales. My brother Craig, he's a journeyman carpenter, so he does the building side of things. I work in the concrete side of things, so I do estimating in concrete and oversee all of the placement of the concrete and the grading of the concrete. And we have another brother, Kirk. He's a key employee in the business. My son, Caleb, works for us full-time. Then I have another son, Luke, and he works summers for us as well. We've had long-standing employees here for many, many years. Any successful company has to have a solid core group of employees, and we have that, and very grateful for it. The technology is great, but you got to have great staff behind it. They're like family. I like that. The company kind of has a feel like that too. I don't consider employees just a number. Everybody's worthy of respect, and having them on board, it means something.